Hey guys, this is a market update. I want to go over some of the things that I'm thinking of over the next 6 weeks or so, because this is a really pivotal time. So obviously we know everything that's going on with the economy and the stock market right now, and also the Fed raising interest rates. I want to go over why that is important to the crypto world, because in my opinion, nothing's going to happen too much with cryptos because of what's happening much wider in the economy, which is much more of a force than anything in crypto specifically. So I want to come to the chart though. This is the Ethereum chart. I'm just going to switch back to BTC very quickly. Some of the things that I'm thinking about right here, just from a technical perspective. So what we can see is that this downtrend from the very top, the all-time high at 69, we are basically selling off that level again. So if we come down to this line, you can see we meet resistance at this line every single time, right? We have 4 or 5 days, a little relief rally, a little pause, and then we get to this resistance. We think we may, kind of break through it this time, and then we get this sell off again. Bitcoin, is obviously going to have a lot of trade around this level. This is quite a key level, really. If you look at the chart, the next level of support is kind of down at 30,000, which is actually quite significantly far away when it comes to market cap. So obviously, I actually think that crypto and Bitcoin specifically does actually want to go higher than this. I believe that the actual fundamental market for Bitcoin, there's a lot of people on the sidelines waiting to deploy capital into Bitcoin and Ethereum, but the economy and what's going on with the Fed right now is way more of an influence than just keeping everything down. It's really important to keep that in mind, that it doesn't really matter what's happening with crypto specifically when you have such FUD coming around in the economy. It's the same for Ethereum. If we look at this, Ethereum is actually come off way more than Bitcoin. Now, Ethereum this year, obviously, or the last year or so, 18 months, has performed much better than Bitcoin, right? So it's outperformed Bitcoin, but obviously now, that it has slightly further to fall. Also, Ethereum definitely more kind of aligned with tech as well. Bitcoin is trading like technology, but you do also have an element of it that's kind of a store of value, and a lot of people buy and hold it. Whereas, with Ethereum, maybe you could make the argument that it's trading even more with kind of high valuation tech, and we're seeing that sell off a lot. So what you can see is that this line down from the top right here, we're not even getting to this resistance anymore. The move is fading out, not even getting right up there. So we get a little rally and then it sells off again. We see we're miles away from this resistance. It looks like we've got this level around 2,700 as a resistance level. Now you can see that was previously support right here, and that has turned resistance. The charts do not look good. Not going to sugarcoat this. They really don't look good, and this is because of the economy and interest rates going up and what's happening in the stock market, which is pretty much pandemonium, which I'll talk about now. Very quickly also, we actually have a special offer with Nexo right now. If you want to use Nexo, you can deposit some assets on the platform like USDC, Bitcoin, Ethereum, get really good interest rates on those. I think about 4 or 5% on Bitcoin with lending as well. You have no tie up. You just have to put $100 on the platform. They'll give you $25 of Bitcoin. I think it's a really good deal. So check that link out in the description. Yeah, so I just want to touch on 3 companies that have reported earnings, right? So Facebook shares plunge on 20%. They literally fell more than that on weak earnings. If you actually look at these earnings, they didn't actually miss that much, right? So they were saying that they were looking for a number around 30 billion in revenue, and they just came in sort of like 8 to 10% underneath that, and then you've just got this huge sell-off. Now, why is that? If you actually look at their numbers, they actually made more revenue per user than analysts expected, but you look at the users are just down a little bit, and what they were saying is that actually their advertising is slowing down. So if you see supply chain disruptions, again, advertisers are shifting to products that monetize at lower rates. So a tech company like Facebook is a leading indicator, some would say, because obviously, if you advertise on Facebook, you can turn that off instantly. It's not like running adverts in a magazine or a newspaper. Why would anyone do that? But anyway, right, you have to obviously pre-book those On Facebook, you can press a button and turn advertising off. Why would a company spend less on advertising? It's because of issues in the economy. Demand from consumers may be coming down, supply chain issues, inflation is high. It's very tough right now. And so the reason Facebook is selling off is these fears that it's a leading indicator into what is obviously a pretty poor scenario in terms of the economy. PayPal, again, this was just a bad miss. PayPal have been an absolute dog, to be honest. Totally missed the boat with a lot of the advancements going on right now. So again, even any sort of miss on earnings, you get absolutely punished, down 24%. So, if you're in any of these stocks and you think I want to play the fintech space, you would have done much better to be in Bitcoin over the last few weeks, to be honest. Spotify as well, they are also saying that their premium subscribers are representing just a 1.7% growth, contraction in growth. This isn't good. So this is what people are fearing now, is if demand is coming off and inflation is high, interest rates are going up and demand coming off, that's the worst of all scenarios. That's a recession, stagflation, whatever you want to call it, basically a very, very bad scenario for the economy in general. And so in this, in this kind of place that we're in now, we cannot expect cryptocurrency prices to go up. It just cannot happen. There's so much bad news. There's basically fears of a recession. Every time that someone's comes out with earnings, the prices of the stock market falls off. This is obviously correlated. So yeah, it doesn't look great for the economy. And then we actually get to Honeywell as well, which I just want to highlight. So this is not a tech company, right? So they will basically track the economy very broadly, right? Their products is a value stock. You can see they came out, down 3.5% because of the earnings are saying they see a lot of issues and troubles with the economy, with inflation and supply chain issues. So that's what I really want to highlight right now is, crypto, I think, has a lot of money waiting on the sidelines. However, the economy, especially in America with inflation and what everyone is fearing right now, that the growth won't come to save the day, that's what you're getting in the stock market. And so that's just going to have a massive downward pressure on all asset prices, specifically crypto as well, unless something specific comes out about a cryptocurrency, if another country adopts Bitcoin, or possibly, a large tech company in the States maybe gets some Ethereum on their balance sheet because they want to start using the metaverse, or whatever you want to call it, then obviously that could be specifically good news. But generally, everything is pretty bearish right now in terms of the economy. And I see this playing out for at least a few more months, the first quarter and maybe the first half of this year. So is this all just really bad news, and should we sell anything? Well, I think it depends who you are and, what type of investor you are and what your time horizon is. My time horizon is extremely long. And so when I'm looking at periods in the market where actually prices are coming down and are a lot softer, I see opportunity in that. Some people that have a shorter term time horizon and maybe are looking to trade, obviously you're thinking, well, going long on rallies is not the move, and you would actually kind of rather short the rallies. I'm not a kind of day trader, and I'm not going to go short growth, right? I just think that that's not really how I want to play it, but it all depends on who you are and what you want out of the market, on how you play that. So yeah, if you want to learn more about the crypto investing and everything, definitely get the course. I'm putting the price up next week because I added like 25 new videos to the course. Got over 150 videos now. Goes through crypto investing, trading, how to do analysis and everything like that. I'll leave that in the description. But I want to come on to a kind of big bit of news for Ethereum is that, $300 million of basically Ethereum was hacked out of a smart contract through something called a wormhole. So wormhole is actually a brand name for a cross-chain bridge. So this is when you take ETH, you take it away from the Ethereum blockchain, you wrap it onto different chains for various different reasons, lower fees or incentives or yield farming and everything like that. I want to highlight this because yield farming is risky, and we've seen that in various different ways with the kind of all the news about Luna and what happened there with Degen Box, and MIM and everything. These kind of degen yield farming strategies are really high risk, and I just want to highlight that. Yes, you can potentially get really high yields, which is great, But I do believe that we're still in the Wild West with that sort of thing. I personally wouldn't kind of try and wrap my tokens and get them on different chains. I just think there's too many risks with hacking, smart contract hacks, and everything like that right now. And obviously, a lot of things out of your control that happen with just outright scams and Ponzi schemes and other kind of leverage scenarios as well that, I just think it's best to stay out of these things, even though the yield may seem really great. Something like this happens and it's all gone basically. So what's going to happen here is about $300 million worth of Ethereum. It looks like the VC firm behind Solana, which I think is Alameda, looks like they're going to just buy that much ETH and basically make up for the hack, which is good. And as we can see, ETH isn't down on this. So yeah, I guess if they make up for the hack, that kind of makes up for that. Next, I want to come to taxing cryptocurrencies, which I think is actually good news. Now, no one likes paying tax, but if governments are starting to tax these things, then that actually is basically an okay for cryptocurrencies, that they're basically going to come in, be regulated, be formalized, legalized, and actually that is a good thing overall. I think there's many downsides to this, of course, but in general, if we actually want this, industry to grow, it has to be okay for everyone to use. It has to be okay for people that don't really care about investing or anything. Maybe it goes through their, in the States, it would be a 401k or a investment plan. It has to be like this. So it has to be like this to grow. So in the US, actually really good news is that it doesn't look like they're going to tax proof of stake rewards. So if you stake any cryptos, like here it says Tezos, other proof of stake cryptos, it looks like they're not going to class that as taxable income. So obviously this has to be worked out. You can see the IRS agreeing to issue a refund over taxes they paid on unclaimed and unsold Tezos staking rewards. So that's pretty good news, actually. If you look at the UK, it looks like also they're going to treat crypto assets. So that's really important, not cryptocurrency, but crypto asset. We have to differentiate between currencies and assets. Everything like Bitcoin, Ethereum, these are crypto assets in my opinion. But yeah, they treat them as property for tax purposes. I think this is quite good news overall. And also it tells us that basically crypto assets are going to become legal, above board, and mass adoption will continue. I'd also suggest watching my previous market update, which goes over the specific dates that a lot of these figures are coming out, inflation figures, jobs figures, and then meetings of the Fed in the States. And these are going to control the markets over the short term and give us a lot of volatility and sell-offs that we've seen already. If you do want to get $25 of BTC with a $100 deposit, check out Nexo. Also check out the course as well. The price is going up next week, and I add content to this over time for free for existing users. Obviously the price goes up when all of that new content is added though. I'm James with MoneyZG. Cheers for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.